Hello and welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. Today is another time for the Whisky Vision TV cask. And last time it was the rejuvenated cask, the repaired cask after the accident. And now we have a look at the cask and it's leaking a bit, but the leaks are not that bad. They're all closing themselves, but there's still some stuff here. Oh, there's a bit of here. Oh. This is incredibly oaky. Incredibly oaky.
So to give you a short recap until you digest that, the cask had transparent ends, and we took a short time lapse where we took a picture every day, and there you could see how the color adds up in the whiskey. From the staves, from the inside of the cask, the color moves into the whiskey. You can see it right clearly how it darkens. And then one of the ends cracked, and we were happy not to lose more than 10 liters of spirit. And then we drove to a agriculture supplier, got some food consistent or food allowed
food spirit tanks or something like that.
We filled over, and then we sent the cask for repair, and they put in new ends, and this time wooden ends. And of course this was fresh wood, or not that dried wood, and there were some gaps in between, and it took a week until the cask was really tight, and so we lost a few grams here from the bottom, but it wasn't really more.
Maybe half a dram.
Yeah, or so. And now it seems to be quite stable. And we're ready to taste it, but you have some figures.
Oh yes, last time I told you that I'm gonna do the calculation of how old the spirit is. We filled the cask on the 25th of September 2017. On the 1st of July 2019, nearly 2 years later, the cask broke. On the 19th of September, the whiskey was back into the repaired casks, which means it's 80 days. About 80 days, depending on how you count the days where it broke and where it was filled in the fixed cask. So we rounded up to 80 days. Then on the 25th of September 2019, the spirit is exactly 2 years old. But we lost 80 days
of maturation,
and we rounded up to 81. And that means on the 15th of December, the spirit was 2 years matured in the cask. So it's a bit older than it was matured, but we're only counting the maturation duration. Yeah, so on the 15th of December, we now have a 2-year-old matured spirit. Good.
Okay.
Let's try it.
The trying is not all. We will go up after this tasting, so stay to the video. And then we will measure the alcoholic content. So how much the cask has lost and how high the ABV still is. It's really dark now.
Looks really dark.
Better than some of the refill hogsheads we see from Scotland.
Yes, it's a fresh cask. Okay.
Here we go. Got some belly.
Everybody gets some belly. You would not be a serious whiskey connoisseur if you don't have a belly.
Oops.
Oh, you already poured me, thanks.
So it's dark. It's dark as a Scotch whiskey with 8 to 12 years is
Yeah, in a refill cask.
in a refill cask.
And it's
Alcohol.
alcoholic, yes, but it also has a lovely sweet caramel and fruity flavor. Still a lot of pear in it. But it's a
And a youthness, some metallic.
metallic youth. There's still in there, but but you can already recognize that it's a whiskey. So this would be the first time where we I think we're a bit critical with the metallic youth and the alcohol, but the bar is now up to being tried as a whiskey. At this point, I would say it's not a whiskey yet.
It would be a bourbon with 2 years of maturation.
I think they are allowed to, yes.
Yes, but they distill on column stills typically, and those bring a much more higher distilled spirit.
Cleaner spirit, yeah.
White dog. So this metallic youthness from a white dog is not that hefty. Typically, it's not there; it's not present, and only the Scottish pot stills in which this whiskey was made in Lower Franconia in Bavaria. They imported their pot stills from Forsyth in Rothes. So this is a quite typical single malt as it is produced in or distilled in Scotland, but the maturation is much more like an American whiskey.
It's lovely. It smells like a whiskey, but not a good one yet. But it's incredible how much you get within 3 years.
And this one is from the size as a barrique, or is it more than
220.
220.
So it's a bit more
in between an American standard barrel and a barrique, which is 240, 250. An American standard barrel is 208.
I think it's about as a wine cask. The standard, I think they're 220 or 25, something like that.
Yeah, so you can see it's matured already a lot, but it's still very young.
It's young. Cheers.
We tasted before, and this time I have a better dilution. I've put more water in, so I think this has a hefty ABV. This is incredible strong. The strength is unbelievable. Now it's better, and you have a wonderful oaky spiciness, and the metallic youthness is cladding your mouth. That will typically vanish after 5 to 7 years, I think.
The metallic youth is going back a little bit, but it's still there. But it got a lovely creaminess to it, a bit of oakiness, a bit of sweetness with fruity flavors, relatively fresh fruity flavors. It's, I would say, from the flavors, it's already a halfway decent whiskey. From the metallic and the youth, it's not good yet.
Yeah. So the additive maturation is quite good, but the subtractive maturation is still too weak. Yeah, it was in a room where we take the videos, and there it was sometimes very warm, below the roof, and sometimes it's cooler because we cooled it down with an air condition, and
in winter it's very cold up there.
In winter it's very cold up there, but from time to time we take videos and we heat it up then. So there might be a few added cycles on that cask, as it's done sometimes or was done in the US, where they heated up the warehouses.
Yep.
And oil was cheap then. Today it's not that popular to heat up casks. You said about
There's
Woodford
a
Reserve.
few smaller distilleries that still heat up their warehouses. Usually you can do it if you're a small distillery or a startup distillery, when you have the warehouses very close to the distillery, because you can then just have the excess steam or the excess heat coming off from the condensers. You can heat your warehouse with that. So you just waste excess heat that you would dispose anyway. So there's no loss. But if you have really big warehouses and you have a designated area where the warehouses are, and your distillery is a few kilometers or miles away from that, then you can't really do that, and you'd have to have an external heating, which would be not environmentally friendly or costly as well.
And for the not so knowledgeable visitors on that channel, the cask, if it's getting cold, the alcohol water mixture reduces in volume and sucks air through the porous walls of the cask, and then oxidization may take place, and when in summer the cask returns warm, then it expands and presses the air out, and this is a cycle typically over a year, and the thermal capacity of the whiskey inside, or the raw spirit inside, is that big that you need at least 14 days to have it completely warmed up or cooled down. So a heating period typically in the past had been 14 days, and after that you stop heating, and the hot air moves out of the building. There are lots of cracks in it, and then you have a cycle, and sometimes they put 2 or 3 cycles over winter. So
you can only cycle in winter. Air conditioning a warehouse, nobody would do that.
Yeah.
I don't think it has been done yet. Okay, so stay tuned, because we're now trying
I know,
the alcoholic strength.
There's a warehouse which is air cooled.
Where is it?
It's in Sweden, Macmura.
Oh, okay.
So they cool the warehouses down if it's too hot in summer.
Ooh, okay. So yes, stay tuned. We're gonna measure the alcoholic content of all the little probes that we took from all the samples, all the videos we had up to so far, and now we're gonna have a look if the alcoholic content fell. Let's see. So we've set up a lot of equipment for measuring alcohol. And how do you measure alcohol? You have a spindle here. I'll show it to them. And that measures the density of the liquid. And this spindle is extra for spirits, and that already translates to alcohol. But the density of a liquid is not constant. It varies with the temperature. So I have here my very professional measurement temperature gauge. And this is actually for food. So it says lamb, which means, what's lamb? Sheep. And it says...
Young sheep.
A young sheep, yeah, young sheep. And it says exactly 20 degrees Celsius. So we're gonna insert the photo here. And that's exactly the temperature that we need for this spindle.
For the scale on that.
To be accurate. So we
to
don't actually need any conversion table.
Yeah.
In the distilleries, they always do have conversion tables for the different temperatures, which they need because they have a still running and the temperature is kind of defined by the still.
Yeah, so they have a table. On one axis is temperature and the other axis is density. And then they look up the ABV. Here we have a scale from 30% alcohol up to 100, and you see at 30% alcohol, it's much more up than with 100, and that means that alcohol is lighter than water. So the more alcohol you
That's
have,
why it evaporates faster.
Yeah, the molecule. Yeah, so it goes down more, and this is what we see here. And the resolution of this scale is 1% Alcohol, well, there will be an offset because that measurement is not calibrated. That measure not calibrated. This one is calibrated to a temperature point of 20 degrees centigrade. So this one is calibrated. But looking inside the cylinder isn't that easy. So, yeah.
But we have a systematic error
over all those probes.
It just, for me, it's just interesting. Does it fall or does it rise because of the temperatures we used?
So the first for me is, how high is it?
I think I filled it with 67, 69, something like that.
Uh-huh.
A bit below 70. If you watch the first video, then you might remember. I don't, because it's too long gone. And we're not gonna clean the beaker in between because we think that cleaning it would leave more water in there and dilute it further than leaving it in there.
Okay.
So where are we? So which one was that? That was the
first, the raw.
25th of September 2017.
1, 2, 3, 4. So I think it's 71.
71.
Close to 71. So 70.8, but that's not the resolution. 71.
71%.
Okay.
Back in the bottle.
So that's hefty. And this is clear why this will be quite a mess here and stinky.
Smelly. Very good smelly. So we started off with 71. Okay. I think they asked me if I wanted it diluted or not, and I said no. Don't know why.
Do you drink a lot? No, I'm spilling most. You need to have a clear hand. So this is number 2.
So number 2 is date.
Date is October 11th, 2017.
11th of October 2017.
I think this time we have to take everything. Otherwise...
will the spindle touch the ground? Is my measuring apparatus not up to the task?
A little bit big, you took it. No, it will work, but it will be more difficult.
Oh, it's okay. Still got some left.
Yeah, turn around. This is now more to... more to 70. So it's really 0.5 less, but say 70.
We lost 1%.
Yeah, 0.5.
But that's incredible. That's just half a month.
This might be now
measurement mistake.
Measurement failure.
You could be a professor in chemistry, huh?
Yeah. Not too far away. Remember your grandpa. He was a chemistrist, how it's called? Chemist with a PhD. Is it really? Yeah.
5th of March 2018.
You know, the Englishmen, they say 5th of March, and the Americans say March 15th. July the 4th.
Yes, I know.
It's darker. Wow. So we're now half a year into it. Still 70.
70?
Now it's really 70.
Okay.
So first was 70.8, then 70.5, and now it's 70.0.
Decided to write down the decimals. Okay. Next one will be the 6th of July 2018. took a lot of probes.
You wanted to taste too often. I always said, no, leave out that one. I didn't thought about measuring it.
I think that the graph will look better if we... Okay, it's bouncing.
70.
70.
70. This is how much? 3 months later, it's 70. Or is it point something? Where are we going here? It's a very little below. No, it's 70.
70.
Exactly.
Exactly 70. Maybe that's because that's the summer month and they're warmer and you don't lose alcoholic strength during the summer.
More water.
If you're at higher temperatures, you don't lose that many ABVs, but more due to evaporation.
This stays in contrast with the theory of the vapor pressure.
But the guys in the very top and at the very top, 26th of October, 2018. The guys in Kentucky, where it's really hot in the summer, they don't.
Not correct. Very good. 71. 71. What happened there? It's not sticking to the wall, no. $71.
Did we gain some strength over the summer?
Oh, I can't believe it.
It
was 71, wasn't it?
It was 71.
And they stood here for days, same temperature.
Hmm. They all have the same temperature. That's strange. Did it gain? Maybe it was really hot up here in the summer.
Mm.
And we evaporated some water.
So, May the 17th, 2019.
So one winter.
$71. No. 70.5. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly 70. No. Wrong mark. 71.
71.
71.
So it stays constant.
More or less. I think next time you should have a smaller one.
Okay.
So, September 19th, 2019.
I think that was where it was just refilled.
Mm-hmm. It's
only
water
the
in
outer
it.
one.
Yeah. So it's 71 as well.
Do we have the right temperature for the alcohol to stay constant?
We lost in volume.
We lost in volume.
Due to evaporation, but
to
also to
drinking.
sampling.
To thirst. No. or appetite.
And now from yesterday.
Yesterday was the 11th.
Mm-hmm.
For you, that was the one that we just filled.
Turn around, please. Yeah, there it comes. It's 71. Therefore, it was that strong, incredible strong. When I diluted it 1-to-1, so it had 35.
What did we have? What did we learn from that? I don't know.
What we learned in Scotland is not right. All the people are sucking at the casks, taking out liquid, putting in water, and the Inland Revenue, the excise tax man, they drink with them.
They're in with them.
It's incredible. So
I don't really have to draw a chart because the chart will be just a line. I can draw the chart right here. Damn.
Yeah.
So I really didn't expect that.
I think we have to discuss that later on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll discuss it and we'll probably bring up the topic at some point. Maybe the next tasting, which will be a year, half a year?
A year.
A year? Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'll get him together half a year. Okay, so yeah, we've learned that we haven't lost any alcohol due to alcoholic strength due to evaporation.
But we lost volume.
We lost volume. So, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, then please feel free to give us a thumbs up and see you next time.